Welcome back to Just One Question 2.0 2022 version. It is so great to be back once again. As I've said before, I'm going back to folks I've talked to before because I never thought this thing would go on as long as it's going on. And now I've kind of come to enjoy at least the podcasting part of it. So I'm really thrilled to have back again Adam Markel, who is the boy from Queens, the boy from Queens originally. No, let's get serious here. I'm messing with you, and that's not right. He is a
little suburb of New York.
Yeah, that place. Yeah, forget about it. He is a speaker. He is an author. He is a trainer. He's an expert in a topic which is just really important right now, right as we're trying to come out of this life-changing, eon-changing pandemic, and that is organizational resilience. He's just written a book on the subject. It's called Change Proof: Leveraging the Power of Uncertainty to Build Long-Term Resilience. And the website is changeproof.com, where you can find the book and get a slice of Adam. He coaches, he helps organizations on the subject. And so without further ado and without any more trash talk, please welcome Adam. Adam, so good to see you. How you doing?
Oh, brother, it's so good to be here, Nick. I want to say this right out of the gate, man. I love what I receive from you. Not every content, everybody's kind of in this content creation space. A lot of people are. Everybody's got their own little mini media company or what have you. But the content you produce is quality. It's high quality. I love it. I read it. I watch it, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And so it's great to have you. Just give us 20 seconds on how you're doing. Just want to make sure things are okay in your world. You staying healthy? Are you safe? How's it going?
I'm going to use a visual for this. Okay. So
yeah.
I didn't even tell you this before we started, but see this is a crutch.
Oh my God. What happened?
This is how I'm doing. We were in Mexico. My wife and I, we're doing a little celebrating. We're married 33 years and we decided it's got to get away. We had a beautiful romantic getaway till the very last day, and not just the very last day, but 2 hours from the time we're supposed to be in the airport and on a flight, and I get crushed by a wave.
Oh no.
Like a punch wave, and drove like literally pile driven into the sand in Cabo. my poor little knee, my sweet little knee. So I'm in a brace, and it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks or something like that.
Oh my God. Well,
but it's all good. I got nothing but love for my knee. That's what I. Which will feed into our conversation, perhaps. But that's how I'm doing.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm very glad you're alive. Those waves can be life altering, life shortening, life ending. So glad you got out of it with a knee. And I'm sorry it's injured, but I hope it gets better in 6 weeks and you're back giving trouble and kicking ass and running down the road again.
No, it's already on the mend and feeling good. But I'll say this: when your wife tells you or anybody tells you, hey, those waves, they're a little dangerous. Maybe you want to be careful.
Maybe you should listen. Yeah.
Maybe you should listen.
Yeah. I would say something smart about you clearly survived 33 years of marriage by listening to your wife, because from thence wisdom comes. But maybe
for the most part, yeah.
Maybe you've learned it even more profoundly now. So
I needed to relearn. It was a relearning.
All right. Anyway, so what are you excited about? Tell us about your latest work here, Change Proof.
Wow. So I am excited about this. In this book right here, which hits the shelves officially, very, very soon here. In fact, 222, a lot of twos involved in that, is a book about what we're going through right now. There's just massive uncertainty in the world, and people are incredibly anxious. There's a tremendous amount of anxiety and exhaustion because it's seemingly a never-ending process of change. It's never-ending in terms of these unknowns, and people are exhausted. And this book, while not written at the beginning with the intention of meeting the moment, as I think it is, I just think the timing couldn't be better. McGraw-Hill was a perfect partner for it. And some people have said some beautiful things about it. I love what Marshall Goldsmith says about it. He says, build resiliency in yourself, your relationships, and your business. A must read. Marshall's a kind man. He's also a McGraw-Hill author. And I think the book really does do something to help people right now in the moment redefine what resilience is, because there's a bit of a misnomer. I think that's really the issue, is that we define it as our capacity to bounce back and to endure. And our research over the last several years has disclosed something that's quite different. I am a keynote speaker and an author, but I'm also a researcher. And this book is built on the conversations and the results of 3,000 plus assessments of leaders across the globe, from everything from Fortune 50 companies to startups. And so it reveals something quite different about that topic of what it means to be an individual, resilient individual, or even to create and curate resilient organizations.
Fantastic. So I can't resist just one more question. Always hurting the name of my podcast here, but that's what you get for having interesting people on. So give us a teaser. If I wanted to change proof myself, my relationships, or my organization, what's one thing I should begin with?
Well, let's just start with the basic, but it's important, and that is to define it in a different way. Resilience is our capacity to actually leverage uncertainty and even adversity for our long-term growth. That's ultimately what resilient individuals and organizations look like. But then the devil's in the details, right, Nick? So it's just one more question. I think maybe we got to change the name of this thing, right? And the way that you do that is by developing rituals for resilience, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. We're holistic beings. It's not just one thing. It's not purely physical. It's a lot of things. And so you ritualize to habitualize, and habits are things like, there's a part of this book that talks about the toothbrush test and this, or the toothbrush challenge. And that is, just look at how you pick up the toothbrush every single day. You're going to pick it up with your left or your right hand. You don't think about it because it's a habit. Whereas a ritual is not a religious or a spiritual thing. It's something that you do with consciousness. You do it consciously versus something you do unconsciously. So if you really want to develop resilience, you create conscious rituals that will ultimately become habits that develop your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual recovery, because that's what we need to do. It's just like, you see the cars in the Formula One, or in any of these races, they go into the pits for 2, 3, 4 seconds to get their tires changed, to gas up, and then they go right back out. And I think there's just too many people. And you look at the Great Resignation, or this Great Escape, as my friend Gary Ridge would say, we're seeing people at exhaustion who've just decided they're taking back control of their own destinies. And we know that just like you can't drive on the track with bald tires without being a hazard to yourself or hazard to the other drivers, we have to now, as people who are leading others, look out for them, have their backs. And that's how we will invite people back into the workplace. That's how we will attract new talent. And that's how we will grow the talent we've got beyond even our dreams of what their productivity or their capacity could look like. Because when people are truly cared for, they thrive. It's simple in that respect. And the devil's, or the what makes it something that requires further exploration and discussion is, how do you do that? How do you ritualize those things? And that's the part that I am just enthusiastic about, morning, noon, and night. And we find that the companies that we do get to present this to find it's not just an interesting thing in the moment, even though it is. It has a shelf life. So you and I were talking, just briefly before we hit record, how is it, for example, that a keynote speaker is more than just sort of a one and done. You've developed this great content, these insights, you share them, and then for 2-3 years you're kind of like, well, what else can that company do with you? The thing about resilience and this kind of a paradigm shift is that it has a great deal of continuity. There's a payoff for committing to developing this internally and then seeing it sort of roll out. So one of the things we love to do is give them an assessment, give everybody an assessment that they can get. Maybe we'll put that in the show notes as well. Mm-hmm. And then allowing people to create their own recovery map, and then just looking at checking in with them, meaning the company checking in with their people 30, 60, 90 days out to see, are they in fact making more time for themselves, but short recovery periods, like a light switch, toggling on, toggling off, and checking in to see whether or not, in fact, those things are being done. And if they are, then they will see the fruits of it. So I realize it's just a little more than one question or one answer to a question, but I so appreciate you asking me about that, Nick.
Yeah, thanks so much, Adam. That's great. And I've already learned a few things today about resilience. If you want to learn a heck of a lot more, go out and get Changeproof, and go to changeproof.com and check out Adam's materials and the opportunity to work with him. Thanks so much for being on Just One Question, and great to see you. Hang in there and get that knee better so you can go out and kick some ass.
That's it, buddy.